Okay, so today we're going to cover 12.5, which is samples and surveys. Qualitative. Okay, then the next one is number of students in different schools who take Spanish. So that's going to be quantitative because you could actually measure which school, let's say, has the most or the least, or you could put them from greatest to least. Football jersey numbers. So that's actually going to be qualitative. Alright, so next we have datas with variables. So we could have a univariate or a bivariate. And the first one is a set of data that uses only one variable, and then the other one uses two variables. For example, the height of a tree, we're only measuring the height, so that's one variable. Then the length of a square and the area, well, that's using two things now. So for these examples, example A says the atomic weight of the elements in the periodic table. Well, you're only comparing the weight, so that's going to be one variable. The edges of length and the volume of cubes, well, you're comparing two things here, so that's going to be two variables. All right, so statistics usually collect information about specific groups of objects or people. The entire group you want information for is called a population. And when a population is too large, we collect surveys as a part of a characteristic. And then that part of the survey is called sample. Okay, so you could have different types of samples. You could have random samples, survey a population at random, survey people whose names are drawn from a hat is an example of that. Systematic sample is select a number n at random and then select every nth person. So for example, you could select the fifth person at random or survey every fifth person. All right, the last one is separate a population into small groups within a certain characteristic, then survey at random within each group. So separate a high school into 4 groups by grade levels and survey a random sample from each grade. All right, so example number 3 says you want to find out how many subscriptions students at your school have in a given month. You interview every 10th teenager you see at the mall. What sampling method are you using, and is this a good sample? So for example number 3, you want to find out how many subscriptions students at your school have in a given month. You interview every 10th teenager you see at the mall. What sampling method are you using, and is it a good sample? Since you're interviewing every 10th teenager, this method is systematic. It's not so systematic. And I would say it's not a good sample because you could survey others who don't attend your high school. So basically, there's no guarantee that every 10th teenager would be part of your high school. All right. So a survey question has bias, so that's a definition right there. When it contains assumptions that may or may not be true, bias can influence opinions and can make one answer seem better than another. So example number 4 says a reporter wants To find out what kind of movies are most popular with the local residents, the reporter asked, "Do you prefer exciting action movies or boring documentaries? Is the question biased? Explain." So the question is biased, and that is because she used exciting and boring. So she said that action movies are exciting and documentaries are boring, and that could create some bias. Alright, so your homework for this section is on page 744, 7 through 19 odd. And again, if you have any questions, come and see me in my conferences.